What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today's Friday, July 3rd. My gosh, over the past week, there have been so many different reports on ordinals and runes due to the controversy within BIP 110, aka the Bitcoin nuts people. Now, because of this, a whole bunch of Bitcoiners and Bitcoin podcasters and people reporting on Bitcoin are talking about this failed attempt to soft fork and get rid of ordinals, runes, and censor them. But I gotta tell you, there's something in this video that you need to learn. That Satoshi Nakamoto himself, in the very beginning in his Genesis block, embedded data within the first Genesis block. Now, what does this actually mean? It means that Satoshi himself embedded data that was non-monetary. It's just one of the very first instances where you can use Bitcoin for more than monetary reasons. So I want to cover it in this video because dog and runes are at the forefront of this discussion regarding non-monetary data. That Bitcoin is not just a store of value, but it's technology you can utilize as a blockchain. So with this said, I want to talk about it. You need to understand what's going on with dog price, with the whole runes ecosystem and this whole controversy that's actually creating a lot of great press around ordinals and runes. So let's talk about it in this video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X. Please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I'll never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and live us safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. So dog right now is roughly around a 60 million market cap. Even over the past 24 hours, it's just been trading sideways. And when you look down below, the trading volume on dog is low, but that's not anything bad. That's just the liquidity flow happening within exchanges. Remember, a lot of the liquidity flow through these exchanges can be influenced by, say for instance, the Binance cluster or market makers for that matter. I remember when Ordi was going through the exact same thing, and Ordi was at a 55 million market cap, then pumped all the way up to 214 out of nowhere. And then I remember when Bonk was at a 9 million market cap. A lot of the trading volume here is the exact same thing that I saw in Bonk before I went from 9 million market cap to over $2 billion market cap with just within a few months. That's the crazy part. So when you look at that perspective, this is the time where only the 1%, and there's only 1% of the people in the world that would buy dog right now. These are the people that are going to front run the rest of the crowd. And that typically happens on any other coin. That's just how investments work. You have to beat the crowd before they get there. Now, before we talk about how this BIP 110 Bitcoin nice people have been exploited for their software, again, if you want to support the channel, please, again, the fundraiser for our channel is still ongoing. If you want to see all the updates, alphas, reports on dog, runes, ordinals, please donate to this fundraiser. We're literally 8.49 million dog tokens away from meeting our goal. So if just 9 people donated 1 million dog, that would complete the fundraiser, and then we would be reporting dog for the next 2 years, as we've already covered dog for the past 2 years. And as you know, the top 3 donors get the first 3 rewards: dog silver medallion, dog Pizza Ninja 101 ordinal, and 2 runestone ordinals. These are the top 3 winners, and then obviously the top 20 that are the donors get to be featured at the end credits of every single video for the next 2 months. So please make sure to donate to this address right over here on X, or you can find it down in the descriptions on YouTube. So let's talk about the overall ecosystem. Like, Bitcoin podcasters such as Joe is now reporting on BIP 110. Now, he isn't a believer in ordinals and runes, let's make that very clear. But nonetheless, he's talking about the failed attempt that 110 is trying to do. And this is why it's important, because you need to have Bitcoiners who don't have to be for ordinals and runes to promote ordinals and runes, if that makes any sense. Because the only reason they're reporting on BIP 110 is because of ordinals and runes. So already, no matter what press you get, if it's good or bad press, it's great press. Marketing 101, as I mentioned on my channel over and over. Next up, we also have Simply Bitcoin, how BIP 110 is doomed to fail. So during this interview, you have Tony that says, people have been convinced that just because you're able to spin up a node, that somehow you should be in control of the Bitcoin network. And that's very dangerous precedent. And then you have Adam Back, who we know is a prominent figure within the Bitcoin space. He says, for the filter enjoyers, that's the BIP 110 people and the Bitcoin nuts people, you do use it anyways, or lobby for censorship, rage quit, join a fringe moderate internet. Same logic for Bitcoin. It's also similarly hard to censor. Why do you think anyone cares about your pro-censorship views? Which he's absolutely correct. But again, Adam Back is not a supporter of Ordinals and Runes, but he's also not a supporter of BIP 110 or the Bitcoin nuts people. And what's really funny is that LifeOFIFO ended up creating a GitHub document that allows for Ordinals to be integrated within BIP 110 once it's ready. So this is what I'm just trying to point out, is that even if you introduce this software, it doesn't actually stop Ordinals or Runes from actually existing. They'll just find another way. And as you know, Fred Krueger actually just recently changed his ticker with an added BIP 110. And during this whole space, it was one of the most cringeworthy spaces that I've ever heard. What's crazy about Fred is that a lot of Bitcoiners, they listened to him. And what happened was, during the space, a lot of the things that he was responding to Leonidas was completely false, inaccurate, and kind of emotionally driven. And that's why he calls Ordinal people JPEGers, and he's calling everything about Ordinals and Runes spam. It is absolutely cringy. And I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt because I wanted to hear his logic, but there was no logic. Now, what really bothers me about this space that he was on is that he said that I don't think Bitcoin Network should be used for free speech. And that's the problem that I did not like about his response.
Images aside, Fred, don't you think that, like, on what you said about Xi Jinping, if the blockchain could be used to criticize Xi Jinping or to communicate anything about a government, don't you think that would be like a pretty massive breakthrough for free speech? I view that as a huge plus.
I don't think I don't think it's a big plus, because I don't think the Bitcoin network should be used for free speech.
Because if you think about it, it is built for free speech. So check this out. This is Satoshi Nakamoto pretty much embedding a message within the first Genesis block of Bitcoin in the very beginning of its time. And it said, The Times, January 3rd, 2009. Chancellor on the brink of second bailout for banks. This is literally embedded within the first block within Bitcoin. Block number 0. So when you think about it, this is actually non-monetary data. It's not monetary, it's just non-monetary data, meaning it's not just a transaction to send or receive Bitcoin. It's literally non-monetary data. So I want to play this clip right now of a person kind of describing his unbiased views on Ordinals and Runes. And just know, he's not for Ordinals and Runes. He actually doesn't like Ordinals and Runes. But nonetheless, Bitcoin is a blockchain that should not be censored or controlled by a small group of people, especially by an individual person like Luke Dash Jr. That this is what Bitcoin is meant to be. And he talks about Satoshi Nakamoto's embedded data, which is non-monetary. And he also talks about later on down the road why Runes and Ordinals can actually help Bitcoin when the block rewards get completely removed. So I'll play that clip right now.
The very first block, which is the Genesis block, contained embedded data. Satoshi inscribed the newspaper headline directly into it. Chancellor on the brink of second bailout for banks. We've all seen it. We all know it. This is non-monetary data, embedded deliberately as a statement about why Bitcoin exists. So the very person or people who created Bitcoin used the blockchain to embed meaning beyond just a transaction on day one by design. And here's another angle worth considering. By 2140, the block rewards goes to 0 entirely. At that point, miners are compensated solely through transaction fees alone. Every single transaction, including inscriptions and ordinals, contributes to miner revenue. Ordinals and Runes ecosystems have already contributed over $500 million in transaction fees to Bitcoin's security budget. While critics say that ordinals don't belong on Bitcoin, and I agree with that, I don't think that any embedded data should be there other than transactions. But as I was saying on my point before, by the year 2140, a few JPEGs might keep these miners economically incentivized. And it might not be a bug, it might be a feature.
So with that said, now you understood. I'm going to stop talking about BIP 110 and Bitcoin nuts and whatever that stuff. It's just amazing press for us. But what I do want to mention, what's going on the dog chart, is on the 4-hourly time frame. You just saw that dog broke out of the 50-day moving average line, which is the green line. It tried to do that for a few days now, and it just failed. But just recently, it broke out of it. Remember, this is the 4-hourly time frame, and that's very different from, say, for instance, the 24-hour time frame. Dog, again, looks like it wants to head upwards, and when it breaks above that specific 50-day moving average line, it's a very bullish reversal. Now, overall, when I look at Dog right now, Dog looks to be sustained at around 60 million market cap. Again, you have to see all this free press is very beneficial for Dog, for Runes, even for Ordinals for that matter. So when you're looking at this and you're looking at the market cap of Dog, it's really next in line to have its parabola event. It's next to be in the multi-billions of dollars in market cap. You just got to wait for it, right? And this is the great thing, is that over the past 2 years, which is not that long for Runes, Dog has been at the forefront of every conversation when it comes to spam, when it comes to Runes, when it comes to non-monetary data on Bitcoin. It's been on the headlines on Glassnode, CryptoQuant, CoinDesk. It's all over online. And so right now, if you don't see the clear signals, maybe you are the 99%, and that's okay. The 1% have to follow the data. The 99% will only follow the emotions once things start pumping. It allows them to feel some sense of security. So with that said, I do want to remind everybody before we end this video and head into the weekend, please, if you can over the weekend, I'd really appreciate it if you donate your Dog to make us reach our 100% goal of 20 million Dog. We have 8.49 million Dog left to raise. So if you can, if you're one of those people that are willing to donate a million Dog, or just a handful of strong contributors willing to complete this fundraiser for us, that'd be much appreciated. And remember, donate to this specific address right here, which is the Dog Runes address, which will be available on my X account pinned to the top or in the YouTube descriptions. And make sure to DM me your X handle and the donation amount so that I can add you up to the leadership board. So with that said, I really appreciate every one of you for supporting this channel. And again, this is amazing free promotion for Ordinals and Runes, and I cannot wait to come back early next week. So with that said, smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and updates regarding Dog on the Moon. Till then, see you guys and girls next time.